so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's now focus our attention on a particular aspect of this whole conversation that we may not have been talking about. It's not only the federal government that is involved in the governance of this nation. There are 36 state governors and the FCT being governed by a minister, all of whom are responsible directly to the Nigerian people. Now, I'd like to remind you, one effort the president said he has made in getting funds out to help cushion the effect of some of the effect of the decision of his government's policies, some of which include inflation rate, the issue of food inflation, unemployment, and so many other issues, and ability to buy food, and perhaps whether or not to find those food in the market. Things spiraled, and there are effects on the bottom line, the lives of average citizens. Let me remind you of what the president said on Sunday morning.
We have also embarked on major infrastructure projects across the country. We are working to complete inherited projects critical to our economic prosperity, including roads, bridges, railways, power and oil and gas development. Notably, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Sokoto-Badagry Highway projects will open up 16 connecting states, creating thousands of jobs and boosting economic output through trade, tourism, and cultural integration. Also, more than 570 billion has been released to the 36 states to expand livelihood support to their citizens.
All right, let's follow up on that. The billions of naira the president said have been released. So Mr. Femi Falana today came out to ask that question. And these funds have not only been released under the Tinubu government, even from the Buhari era. Some of these monies have always also been released. Take a listen to, in part, what Mr. Falana said. He said, quote, in July 2024, the federal government released over 438 billion in reimbursement of 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory under the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus Program. Kaduna and Anambra State were not included in the list of beneficiaries of the last disbursement on the ground that they did not present results for verification during the exercise. Falana went further to say, from the foregoing, the total sum of 573 billion has been disbursed to the state and FCT to fight multidimensional poverty in the past 9 months. The disbursement was confirmed yesterday by President Bola Tinubu in his nationwide broadcast. Since the sum of 438 billion has just been disbursed, Nigerians deserve to know the details of the anti-poverty programs being executed with the fund. After all, the last tranche of 438 billion is part of the World Bank loan of $750 million, which will be paid back by the Nigerian people. I think we need to create a hashtag. Hashtag, where is our money? The question is, from every state, there needs to be citizen engagement to the government of every state to say, where are these monies that you have gotten from the center meant to alleviate the poverty in the land, multidimensional poverty? 538 billion naira disbursed. 438 billion disbursed in the last few months. 578 billion in the last 9 months. Let's get some perspective to this. Yabagi Sani joins me. He's a presidential candidate in the last election and the national chairman of ADP. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you for having me.
So there are a lot of end bad governors, but the question is that it is not only at the center, and it does look at the pressure is on the federal government. They are getting the message. Has the state governments gotten the message? And the local government, the councillors, are they getting the message?
Well, Sean, they are not getting the message because if you look at what happened, even when protest was about to, commence, I think there was a tactical error made by Mr. President when he invited the traditional rulers to come to the villa so he can address them and ask them to go and pacify, their people. The traditional rulers were not the right people to, to summon at that point in time. I think Mr. President should have exposed at that point in time the governors, the state governors. And the state governors should go maybe in collaboration with their traditional rulers in their domains to now appeal to the people. Because if you see what has happened, that's why I say they're not seeing the money you're talking about. Because people who are taking this money have not been put on the spot. And in addition to the 433 billion naira to talk about, there was also 1.33 trillion naira that was at FAC that was given to the states. So the question is, why is it that the federal government, has not all along been able to put together a system whereby accountability will become, an issue?
So it's as if the federal government is giving a lot of money to the states without asking how do you spend.
Yes, how
there are those who
money.
will say the federal system of government allows for that level of independence. The federating units should have the lives of their own and be able to determine how they run their own states in their own territory, and the federal government has its own powers. But the question is that the states, apart from some of these intervention funds, the states are getting far more than what they used to get since subsidy was removed.
Exactly.
The question is that where are the funds?
The funds, like I said, I think the issue, is still, like you rightly pointed out, the Mr. President should put the governors, the states, on the spot. If you look at the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Commission, of course, it says that money is given to the states because going by the sharing formula, which is in the Constitution. But where is the accountability? Is it that you just come to the federal, you collect money, you go and do whatever you like with it, you come back again, you collect, you go and do whatever you like with it, nobody asks you to render any account? And if there's any account being rendered, because we all know the states are in the pockets of the governors, not the House of Assemblies, not the traditional rulers. Nobody in any state can talk to any governor because they behave like emperors in where they preside, in the states. So the issue is that we've come to a stage where the problems should be put squarely where it belongs, and that is for the citizens to begin to now hold the state governors to account for how much has been given to them.
In fact, alone, Yabagi, Sani, there is a report which says that the state governments or the states have received an average percentage rise in federal allocation up to 27%.
Yes.
So if they were receiving a certain amount consistently over the last year, since Bola Tinubu came into government, the allocation that goes to the state has increased up to about 27%.
Yes.
So are we seeing the effect of the 27%, or even if it's 20% or 25% rise in federal allocation in the lives and livelihoods of the people? Anyways, the state in each of these states of the federation where people are protesting, there are state governors there.
Yes.
Agree that Bola Tinubu was the one who made the decision to remove subsidy.
Yes.
And the major effect of that subsidy removal is what we are seeing in our livelihoods and in the price of commodities in the market. But the question is that, are there no governors in the federating unit?
Yes. The problem, like I said, I'll still say Mr. President has a duty, to rise to the occasion and then deal with this problem. Because one,
how does he do that? Can he query a state governors? Or you are talking about audits?
The issue is this. You see, when he removed the subsidy, he said that the subsidy was going to private pockets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Up to today, nobody has mentioned who these private pockets were. Today, we have the pockets that we know where the subsidy is going to, and that's state governors. So somebody should now call out the state governors.
There are only 36 of them.
Yes, but they are known.
Yes.
You can claim that the ones that were stealing our resources before the removal of subsidy, we don't know them. Nobody has been able to mention them for us, for up to this moment. But what about the trillions that is now going to the state governors? Why can't somebody now ask them to account? And of course, we have agencies. EFCC is there, ICPC is there, and the other agencies. maybe they should swing into action.
And the Nigerian people are there.
Exactly.
You know, if some of these agencies are not rising up to the occasion,
yes,
the Nigerian people have risen to the occasion.
Yes,
they've gone to the street. The question, and perhaps also poking in the minds of the average Nigerian, is this. Hashtag, where is our money?
Yeah,
hashtag, where is our money?
It's long overdue.
Let the governors come in a town hall.
Yes.
Let them tell the people,
yes,
this is the money that we have collected in the last 6 months.
That's right.
And this is how we have spent it.
Yes.
If the people cannot practically and physically see it,
yes,
then they should hold them to account, isn't it?
Yes, they should. And as a matter of fact, I think Nigerians have woken up. And but like you are saying, the anger should not be targeted only to the center. In fact, if anything, the anger should be more to the state, the subnationals, and that's why you had the destructions and and the fury of this protest to be more intense in the north, because the north is suffering more. In silence, they don't know how to, who to attack or who to fight. So this is why people were just burning, government properties there. I'm not in any way supporting that line of action, but the people are frustrated. And if anything, the center should come on the side of the people, not asking, well, that's another thing, another aspect of the whole protest. Mr. President should know that if there's anybody that is the culprit in this anger that you have on the land today, it is subnationals, that is the state governors. And we know how much is going to them. We can verify how much they have been used, how much have been utilized if we're serious, people. And we have to be serious now, because the citizens are angry, and they're angry.
Let's take a break.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll finalize our conversation on the anger on the street. Well, of course, condemnable, the kind of assault on infrastructure and private property. But the question is that, can we rechannel this anger to the right places? Let it trickle down. Now, there is a Supreme Court judgment to say local government has their life and their powers of their own. Their independence is guaranteed under our laws. They should be able to rise up and be able to defend their action in their own territory. Are they doing their duty? The state government, are they doing their duties? We need to rechannel that energy and ensure that our nation is better for it. We'll be right back after this break, everyone. But this conversation will drive us into actually trying to put out what is obvious, of course, the kind of monies that have gone into the coffers of the state governments across the nation. And some of them getting 20-something billion, 40-something billion, 30-something billion in one tranche, and some of them getting in other tranches. Now, the question is that in all of the increase, at least in the minimum of 9 months, there's been increase in federal allocation that's gone to the state. The question is that if anybody is asking end bad governance, the Tinubu government, are they heard? What about the state governors? Are they heard also? Alhaji Yabagi has been speaking with us tonight. In wrapping up this conversation, Alhaji Yabagi, where do we go from here? We've seen this uprising in the northern region of the country, in Bauchi, in Kaduna, in Kano, in Jigawa, in most parts of the north. There seems to be that tension in the land. There are those who have drawn political undertone to some of this, but the fundamental is also the fact that times are hard. There is hardship, there is poverty. Where do we go from here?
I think where we go is to become more and more conscious of the responsibility of the tiers of the government to ensure that accountability, becomes, a watchdog. A watchword that we must use. It's not enough to just say you're a state governor. Constitution has said that you can go and take money and do whatever you like with it, but there must be accountability. And the problem of this country revolves around three things you can easily say: corruption, lack of diversification of our economy, and the poverty that has eaten deep into the fabrics of the society. So this is why we cannot, as a nation, be able to make any progress if we can tackle the issue of corruption. And that's what is coming out now. Because corruption is so endemic, the infrastructure at their sorry states, and nobody's doing anything about it. We're not diversifying economy, the money is going to governance, like we have been saying here, is being used for some frivolous, ends, and you hardly hear of anybody really being questioned, by the state. So I think, if anything, like I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has already started doing, by giving the local governments their autonomy in terms of having powers over the funds that are supposed to go to that tier of government. But beyond that, we also need to look at issue of how do we recruit our leaders, even at that level, because
at the grassroots.
Because if we still have it the way it is today, nothing will change.
But do you know, Yabagi, things are that bad that a chairman who, for example, is supposed to be the chairman of, let's assume this is a local government,
yes,
does not live in that local government, lives in the city, the part of the city.
Yes, the capital, state capital. Yes.
How do you want to govern where you do not know the plight of your people?
No, because it does not matter. The people there do not matter to him.
I think that
the only people that matter is the governor.
The faces of their chairman on the billboards, so that as you're entering that local government, you know that this is the man responsible for governance in this area.
Yes.
I think people should start, because a lot of the times you don't even know who the chairmen are.
Yeah, but
you don't even know the members of the cabinet, of the local government, the councillors.
Now we'll begin to know, because what has happened all along is that you just have local government chairmen or the local government chapters as just a department of the state. So the man you put at the head there knows that he has to go and pay homage and possibly go and be saying, yes sir, yes sir. It doesn't really deliver anything to the people there. But now with this change that we have, money is going to that tier directly, and elections, most importantly, how we conduct elections there. Because if we leave it in the hands of the governors, still nothing will change.
All right. I think for whatever is worth, this protest had awakened some kind of consciousness,
certainly,
not only in the average person, but in our nation. And that the Nigerian people cannot be taken for granted any longer.
Yes.
But I think there is an assignment that this episode of the program had given me personally. Don't worry, Nigerians. I will come out with the figures of how these monies were disbursed, and we'll be able to see whichever state you are from, you'll be able to know what monies have gone to your state and the right question you need to be asking. Yes, #end bad governance, but where is our money? Let's be asking the state governors. Thank you so much, Alhaji Yabagi, for coming.
Thank you, Sean, for having me.
And that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure I'll see you next time. God bless Nigeria.